Mapema. Watu wawili both teams.
Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to the Enterprise Cup cross-country quarterfinals. We are coming live to you from the Nakuru SK Showground, home to Menengai Oilers. This venue hosted last year's Enterprise Cup final. My friend Paul Okongo, the rugby historian, informing us it was not the first time that the Enterprise Cup was coming to Nakuru, giving us an example and a time when Idi Amin played in Nakuru. Dominant scrum from KOBS, but they are driven several meters. They have had dominant scrums today. And the YouTube there. They have had dominant scrums today in the opening minutes of this clash. Talk of the visitors, but Nondies still holding on. Already Nondies have lost a man to Sinbin as they go for that line out. KOBS have several names that you know. Talk of Ian Munyani, who captained the 7th squad, Uganda Cranes 7th squad at some point, and he's donning that jersey 12. He's the man captaining this squad. He's now with the ball, goes into contact as KOBS keep on knocking on that Nondies door. Remember, Nondies are the most decorated side in the country, and in this competition, having won the Enterprise Cup 25 times, the last one coming around 1998. And Oilers and KOBS, on the other hand, are the second most decorated side from Uganda. A tackle there for Oilers. Munyani with the ball, goes into contact, tackled, as they get now a penalty in a kickable position. Already they have missed a number today. This time round, they'll be hoping to do it right, and they have decided to go for 3, and they say 3 is always better than none, but depends how you look at it. Reffing this match is the son of the soil, Victor Duor. He's doing good development of rugby here as the man in 13, jersey 13, nails the 3 points. Call him Rasul Abiriga. KOBS now lead here. Oilers, Nondies. They decide to go to the corner as they return to that 22 with the hope of getting something on the scoreboard. And getting a response few minutes after going down. That is Charles Omondi with the ball in hand. Charles Odhiambo, one of the longest serving Kenyan rugby players, one of the most experienced, as Oilers continue knocking at that, though they drive a few. Nondies, they continue pushing. Almost there for Nondies, but they concede a penalty, and now they'll be leaving that 22 without points once again. KOBS already leading here by 3 points to 0 following a penalty by Rasul here at Nakuru SK Showground. They go for that line out, and it's Edrin Sempebwa with the throw. A big carry from KOBS. Referee says play on. Collins Kimboa with that carry, offloads in contact. They are on that 10-meter line, and they go for that highly raised kick. Ian Munyani loses the ball forward, and now a chance for Nondies to attack. That is Charles Omondi. Ian Mbwani with that quick release from the rack. It is Nondies now with the kick. The kick behind the defense, well met by KOBS flyer who sells her dummy and kicks with the left kick. But now the distance is just outside the 22-meter line. If you're just joining us, this is the Enterprise Cup cross-border quarterfinals coming live to you from Nakuru SK Showground, home to Menengai Oilers. This is the venue that hosted the final last year as the Sugarmen Kabras Sugar managed to win their fifth consecutive Enterprise Cup title. They have not lost the Enterprise Cup since the 2019 triumph being their first one under coach Henley Duplessis. Obvious more matches, more action, and more coming away as KOBS survive that one. More matches coming away because later in the afternoon the host Menengai Oilers, who I kept on referring to, have a match against Buffaloes from Uganda, while in Uganda more matches are being played there at 2 p.m. The Sugarmen, the champions Kabras Sugar, will be going up against Red champions Heathens, while Pirates, who are the current champions, they'll be going up against KCB Rugby. So those are the matches to look out for today in the Enterprise Cup as we continue following this one, which is the early kickoff. Obvious starting at 1 p.m. because of the heavy rains being witnessed across the country. Those who traveled to Uganda are informing me that it is also raining there, but the early kickoff in Uganda is at 2 p.m. And later on, KCB will be a change of direction by Ian Mubwani. Nondies with a rack there. They continue working out. Omondi powers there. They are almost getting to that 5-meter line. That is Nondies trailing in this match. Still with the ball is Nondies, putting on that white kit. More options on the left and on the right. They play in the number 10 who opts to kick, but a charge down. He holds on that ball. That is Calvin Sheunda. A penalty for Nondies. Which option will they be going for? They decide to go to the corner. They have gone to the corner. As one of the players is given medical attention there. A knock on, and Nondies still in possession. In such moments, you need to utilize your chances, being a knockout match, and that is what Nondies have not been able to do so far, despite having much of the possession. Ian Mbwane giving instructions to Calvin Sheunda. Ahead of that scrum. KOBS survived that one. A big boot. The line out for the home side, Nondies, the most decorated side in this competition. 25 titles. They have won at some point 10 in a row. They have also won 6 in a row. I'll be giving you the years that they have been able to do that in the Enterprise Cup. No other side has done that. Nondies with the ball. A knock on from the most experienced man on that field. And now we will have a scrum for KOBS. I told you they are the second most decorated side in Uganda. Just to give you data. They were the first side to win the Uganda Premiership, that is 1990, when it was played on round-robin basis. They came to win it in 1995 as they go for that grabber kick. Counter-attack for Nondies. Big carry by that winger. Ian Mbwan is there to release the ball. I was giving you data about KOBS as they offload to the open side. That is Nondies. They are prop with a beautiful run, and he goes near the post. What a run by the prop. Rare occasions we have seen such a tries from front rowers, but today it happens. He got that line break and he did not look back. What a beautiful try by the lucid prop from Nondies. As Shunda adds 2 extra points to give the record champions Nondies a 7-3 lead. What a try, which has lightened the mood here at Nakuru SK Showground. As Shunda kicks behind the defense. Finds that space. That beautiful try was from Kevin Kubasu. Remember when they played against Cabras at the Forest a few weekends ago. His father was there to cheer him. Nondies now looking lively after scoring that try. They call for mark, that is KOBS. Now they'll be kicking it from their own territory, seeking to exit. They decide to tap and kick. (7-3) is the scoreline with almost 30 minutes played here at Nakuru SK Showground, home to Menengai Oilers, who will be playing Buffaloes later on. In the 3 p.m. kickoff. A line out for Nondies. Nondies grabbing a penalty. Steve Odhiambo, the captain, is pointing at the tee. They know it's a knockout match. Whatever the result you get, you proceed to the next round. And now Calvin Sheunda will be keen to nail that one. Calvin Sheunda nails that one, and 3 more points as they move to double figures with that kick. Interesting times that we now have cross-border fixtures. We have always had that online debate of who is the best, which league is the strongest, and now the teams get a chance to face off and maybe give us answers. Of who is the best, as KOBS go for that scrum. Maybe if you're wondering what is KOBS, KOBS is Kampala Old Boys. That is the full meaning of KOBS. A scrum pick from the number 9. He knocks it on. We'll be going back to that spot. KOBS today came with a dominant scrum. They have tested Nondies several times. Nondies yet to get a proper answer for that. But it is Nondies who lead this match. 10 points to 3, though KOBS were the first ones to score, courtesy of a penalty. They claim that ball but they knock it on. And we have an Nondies scrum. Let's see what they're going to do when they have their on scrum. They have struggled to contain the other scrums against the Kampala Old Boys. In this squad we have the KOBS squad. We have several notable names. Talk of Andrew Odhiambo, who was a top scorer at some point. He's playing on the right flank. He played for former K-Cup side Western Bulls, which has since been relegated from the second tier. Steve Odhiambo started his Uganda career with that is Charlton Mokua, but loses the ball in that contact. I was talking about Andrew Odhiambo, who started his career at Hippos and later on moved to KOBS after an impressive season where he was at the top scorer and was also called up to the 7th squad for the first time. Played the Safari Sevens in Nairobi, that in Machakos I mean, as Calvin Gizamba goes to the corner. A line out that Eldrin Sempebwa will be seeking to get it right. KOBS seeking to get a response, having considered what we would call an easy try, a line break from Nondies Kubasu. KOBS taking it slow, but now Nondies are trying to hold them high. Ball released by Stuart Mwai. Again, Mwai plays in his back rowers. Referee blows the whistle, meaning it's a held up. Calvin Shegunda picks the ball. Kicks it behind the defense. Gizamba with the ball in hand. Plays in Ian Mubwani. Mwai releases the ball, but they lose the ball in contact, and we'll have an on scrum as the referee blows the halftime whistle after 42 minutes on the clock. And we have Nondies leading here. Obviously, KOBS were one of the Ugandan teams that were treated to go past this round and get to the semi-final. And they have 40 minutes to raise those expectations. (10-3). That is the story of the first half. KOBS leading fast, missing several penalty attempts before scoring their first. And now Nondies fought back, scored through Kubasu. A beautiful try near the posts. And now we have, they later added a penalty, and now we have a 7-point gap separating these two sides as we head to the halftime break. Later on today, we'll have that match pitting the hosts. Menengai Oilers will be taking on Buffaloes. Let the comments keep coming. I'll be reading some of them. Dave Mwaura, following all the way from Kakamega. He says good stuff. Evans Gadhu says view smart sana. We have Keep Koge. He's loving the live stream. Eddie says KOBS for life. Some of the Kelvin Collins says he on a running prop, referring to that try by Kubasu. As on the screens there, the bomb squad continue warming up. But sasa ni mute. Ngoja ni mute bana. The second half is on. Seven 3, 10-7. I mean, was the difference. In the first half, let's see what is going to happen in the second half. The Enterprise Cup, one of the, not one, but the oldest competition in the region. Coming live to you on Scrummage TV. Nondies, Ian Mbwani knocks it on. He is disappointed with that. KOBS with a chance to implement what the coaches have given them in the first half, and they go for that 8th man pick. The scrum half gains several meters for them, nearly getting a turnover. That is Nondies. Collins Kimboa Ian Munyani, a quick release by Andrew Diambo, and now KOBS are into the 22. Ian Munyani, ball goes backwards. Steve Odiambo received that. It's almost 2 p.m. The other match in Uganda will be kicking off. Has KOBS enjoy the start which they had in the first half? They had decided to go for that quick tap, but the referee called it back. And now maybe a chance to rethink their options, either go for 3 or try to chase 5. They have opted for 3 points. They trim the gap with that penalty. That was Rasul Abiriga adding 3 points for KOBS. As now the scores change to 10-6. Just at the start of the second half. A knock on there by Blair Ayebazibwe, nearly confused him with Willite Mususi from afar, but maybe somebody else will say they don't look alike. Charlton Mokua being subbed off. Maybe due to those cramps as they make changes in the second row and the back row. Free kick for KOBS. Quickly tapped. And that is Eldrin Sempebwa. Quickly released by Stuart Mwai. And the ball is on the left wing now, on the right wing, left wing I mean. Just a foot in there. Call him Jaffa Abdallah. Now they cross that 22-meter mark line. Mwai with the release. Plays in the hooker Eldrin. I think they were expecting that possession. Change of direction by Ian Munyani. Sports a gap there, taken down. They keep possession. And that is KOBS. They know, should they get an extra penalty, then they'll be trimming the gap. Should they get 5, they'll be leading this. A grabber kick behind the defense. Abdallah can't get there, ahead of 20 Fidens for Mayala man. His school is facing Kisii today in that decider of the Nyanza region school games. They faced off again last year, the match ending with just a 3-pointer scored by a young man who is now with Kabras Sugar. Call him Matrix Matangi. Golden dropout by Calvin Sheunda. Bounces just outside the 22. Taken by the left side winger, but the referee penalizes KOBS. And to remind you to keep subscribing and liking. And remember, you can also watch the Kabras documentary, which is pinned on this YouTube channel. Once you are done with these today matches, you'll get to see what they did just before the semi-final last year, and the final episode will be coming just before the playoffs. So keep it Scrummage Africa TV. Also, if all goes well, the national school games will be live on this channel as Charles Odhiambo rises to take that one. Ian Mbwani plays in the substitute, who Calvin Sheunda, Fidens Tony cuts inside. Fidens Tony turns his man inside out, plays in. Steve Odhiambo is the captain of the side, and Steve Odhiambo he is sure with that try. If I'm not wrong, it's Yala linking up with Yala to give us that try. The old boys will be very, very happy as Calvin Shonda goes for the extras. Looking to make it a 17-point gap. Not gap, but 17-6 lead. I mean, now they leave KOBS with more questions, but that was a beautiful play by Fidence Tony. Maybe he decided to show the fans that he's still on the pitch. Shonda with that kick, though he slices it with his boot. And the lineout will be just outside the 22. Record Enterprise Cup champions Nondies now look like they are in the driver's seat as Andrew Odhiambo rises high to get that one, and looks like KOBS are going to have a perfect response here, but they knock it on. Nondies won the Enterprise Cup 10 times in a row. That is between 1975 to 1984. And later went on to win 6. That was between 1989 and 1994. For KOBS, they have been exchanging with Heathens, especially in the Uganda Cup, which has been on the cards since 1999. Heathens winning it from 1999 to 2004, before KOBS managed a double in 2005 and 2006. Pirates won it in 2007, KOBS in 2008, Heathens in 2009. KOBS then went on to win a three-peat, that is 2010 to 2012. Heathens then said, hold my beer. They won it 4 times in a row. That is between 2013 and 2017. 2018 it was KOBS. 2018 it was Pirates. Then 2019 it was KOBS, and that was the last year that KOBS managed to win the Uganda Cup, which is their domestic cup. For the main title, which is the Uganda Premiership, they have 14 titles and have finished second 7 times. I don't think if there's another side that has finished more at number 2, because Heathens, who are the most decorated side in Uganda, have 17 titles, having finished as number 2 4 times. We have Black Pirates, who have won it 3 times and have finished second 6 times. Obvious, Impies have won, and they'll be happy with that. They were on top of the table, by the way, Impies, at some point, and somebody among the Ugandan fans was saying we need to have them in the Enterprise Cup because they'll bring the vibes. There was that photo of them beating Heathens in the league circulating, and I think that is the most edited and reused photo where we saw the winger running up to KICC in Nairobi. But that is the fun of the internet, the beauty of the internet, and that is what makes this sport special. Line out for Nondies, but Kimboa claims it. Nondies looking to hold them high, something that I say Cabra's coach will never be happy with. He says it's faster and easier to take a tackle and get a turnover. Nine points separating these two sides. Charles Omondi there at the back of the scrum. Ian Mubwani with the scrum feed. Charles Odhiambo meets Andrew Odhiambo as Ian Mubwani decides to kick behind the defense and he drops, leaving the battle to the rest of the team as he drops to cover that space left behind by the winger who has gone in. It's now a box kick from KOBS. Calvin Sheunda plays in. Fidel Stoney, the scorer of that beautiful second try. He is still twisting and turning his opponents as Mubwani arrives, sends a long pass to that number 19 substitute, goes for a box kick. They claim it back. That is Charles Odhiambo. He has been silent in this match as Calvin Shonda kicks it behind that space in the defense. But we go back to that spot. I was talking about that man in jersey 13. He was part of the Simba's camp in Kakamega. That was last year as they prepared for that Rugby Africa Cup in Kampala. We later crossed on to Kampala, but he was dropped as the team headed to South Africa. Obviously, they have made substitutions. Both sides, a new hooker in at number 16. Felix Kweyable as Abdul cuts inside strongly. KOBS still eyeing the first try. They have only accessed the Nondies defense through a penalty, as that left side winger gains meters almost to that 5-meter line. That is Andrew Diambo in jersey 7 with a headgear, goes into contact, quickly released to the number 10, who finds the left winger, call him Karim. Andrew Diambo targeting that center post, but he's tackled, though the tackler did not trap, and the referee is playing advantage. Ian Munyani tackled. They know they'll be still going under the post for that advantage. And the funny thing about rugby 15s, you can win even without getting to he goes to the first offense. Andrew Diambo with the ball. Sisadami crosses over and scores a very crucial try that moved them to 11 points with the conversion to come. That is former Western Bulls man Andrew Diambo, played for Hippos before coming or moving to Uganda, and now they move to 11 points with a conversion to come. We'll have that man in jersey 13, Rasul Abiriga, trying to add in 3 more points. And should he do it, KOBS will still be in this clash. Yes, he does it. Now we have just 4 points separating us. As I said earlier on, KOBS were among the teams that were being mentioned as favorites to proceed to the next round. Maybe it's because Nondies have just won 4 matches this season, not like they were last season. I think last season Nondies were a different animal. They went to Cabras and picked a losing bonus point, restricting Cabras to just 7 points. Few sides have been able to do that in the recent times, as Ian Mubwani quickly starts that one, but the assistant referee calls it back. I was talking about Nondies last season. They went on to finish 4th after playing Cabras in the semis, losing 45-6. Could be the biggest win. Not could be, but it is the biggest win Cabras have ever had in that semi-final. Nondies have also made several substitutions. They go for the space behind or the long throw. More substitutions in. The pass didn't go as expected, but they maintain possession. And they have a penalty. Which option do they go for? It's the captain, Steve Odhiambo, pointing at the posts. As Kubasu, we expect that run that he had when he scored that try. Kubasu bringing that kicking tee to Kelvin Sheunda. Since they scored, he has had good kicking boots I hope I won't jinx that one. Goes out. Oilers already warming up. And if you can see at the corner of the left side of the try box, KOBS try box, is the Buffaloes. As Calvin Shaunda with that left kick goes behind. KOBS fly off, responds to the kick, looking for that space behind, but the ball does not bounce off out of play as expected. What he was hoping for did not go as planned, as Fiden's Tony's kick bounces out of play, and we'll have a KOBS line out. In there, almost on that 10-meter line, stolen by Nondies. Ian Mubwani. Passage by Nondies. That pass did not go as he would have wished, as they knock it on. Time for KOBS to attack. Ian Mubwani goes down. Munyani, I mean. We have Ian Mubwani and Ian Munyani at the opposite sides. Nondies penalized there. Diambo claims it. Referee spots that one as a leading arm, but it was a moment that had the fans cheer. But the referee says it's a leading arm. Line out for Nondies. Watakari. Calvin Shaunda plays in his inside center. Nondies looking for that extra try that maybe will put the game beyond their opponent's reach. They still have more minutes. Nondies already have 2 tries in this match. Both will be memorable ones. But KOBS have also had a great try They released the ball, knocked it on, but the referee was playing advantage. And as you know, in rugby, we go back to that sport. As fans continue to gather for that Menengai Oilers match, obvious, Elisha Koronya, Boniface Samimo, Hilary Baraza, Fred Shisia are some of the players that have stepped in. Menengai Oilers and Buffaloes already getting ready for their next encounter, which will be kicking off at 3 p.m. Yes, 3 p.m. to avoid being caught up with the heavy rains in the country. Cross kick by Calvin Sheunda. Tapped back into play. And Nondies have crossed over again, though consultations are going on between the center referee, who I told you is the son of this soil, Victor Duor, and that cross kick, tap back to play, and a try at the corner is confirmed by the referee. 22-13 is the scoreline here at Nakuru SK Showground. If it was in my hometown, maybe they will be saying Luere, but Ugandans and KOBS fans, you can let us know if it's too early to say that. I know you know what it means. KOBS now will have to score at least twice and maybe convert one. But being 13 points, I think 10 points will see them lead 23-22. And it's a game of rugby, so 2 tries unconverted or a try and a penalty could do something great for this KOBS side. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Maybe has the match lived up to the expectations that you had, being a cross-border fixture? You will let us know on the comment section. Has Nondies this time round drive that one? And maybe a different tale if you compare with the first half. Now it's Nondies doing well in those scrums. Maybe it's because of the swaps in the second row. Plays in Fidel Stoney, who kicks behind the defense. But we go back to the initial infringement. If you're just joining us, this is the Scrummage Africa. Bring it live from Nakuru ASK Showground. Victor Ogena kicking. to find touch. Claimed by Rano Dua. Nondies. Don't know why I kept calling them Oilers in the first half. Maybe it's because they are using Nakuru SK Showground for this match. Told you this venue hosted the final last year. KOBS completing their fifth consecutive. Nearly stolen by Andrew Diabo, and offload to find the most experienced player on this pitch. That is Charles Omondi. He was part of the Simbas last year camp, but did not travel to South Africa and Uganda. He shows why he's still on this pitch, crossing over for another try. Stretching it further as Calvin Shunda comes in for that, to look for those 3 extra points, using his left boot to do the job, and does it perfectly this time round. $29 points to 13 is the scoreline that Nondies have. A perfect way maybe to warm up for that final match of the season. Next weekend they'll be playing against that Masinde Muriro outfit. This match was postponed, and now it will be very crucial for Nondies. Their coach telling me in that post match against KOBS that they would be going all out, but that has not been the case, because last weekend Impala shocked them, picking a 17-13 win and that Impala now need just a point to survive that relegation. So the work is on the Masinde Muriro side to beat this Nondies outfit that has really played this match. And some coaches saying by playing you get extra, or by playing it's the best way to test yourself, unlike having those breaks that Masinde Muriro will be having this time round. Again, Nondies scrum. Turning perfectly, the bounce of the ball nearly going Nondies' way. Let me check what is happening in one. It's called one Kuku. Nondies still not yet done. Calvin Sheunda trying to find Fidence Tony. As the referee blows the final whistle to confirm that it's done. In Uganda, KOBS already leading 20 points to 6 in their Enterprise Cup match. So keep subscribing, keep liking, because Menengai Oilers will be taking onto the pitch for that second match of the day. This is the return of the cross-border. The teams right there on your screens done with their match. Nondies have a place in the semis. Nondies have a place in the semis following that 29-13 victory here at Nakuru SK Showground. KOBS eliminated. Now eyes are on Heathens, who currently trail 20 points to 6 in Uganda against KOBS, and Pirates, who are the champions, who teams will be looking at to see if they can get something for the Ugandan sides. For Kenyan sides, all eyes are on KCB, KOBS, and now Menengai Oilers will be taking on the pitch later on. Obviously, Ugandans also have Buffaloes, who are currently warming up there. Teams having that photo, which will be a memorable one. One for the books. People will live to remember. I don't think they were allowed to have that photo, but it was going to be one of the greatest photos. That will be one for the books. And one for the histories when the Enterprise Cup is mentioned, and especially the cross-border Enterprise Cup. So we have Nondies at the first side to book a place in the semi-finals, thanks to that try from James Kubasu. Later on, they added a try, beautiful one from Fidence Tony, and then in the second half they got one at the corner before Stephen Odhiambo benefited off an offload to make it 29-13. On your screens there, that is Menengai Oilers, the home side. Not been lucky in Kenya Cup, losing 2 matches this season. A season where a few guys looked at them as this team to beat, and maybe the team to finish in that second spot, but that has not been the case. Ominde there on your screen, former player, played a crucial role at some point around 2019 to get them to the final. No, that was in 2021 to get them to the first ever final. Now he's there as their 7th coach and backs coach. Obvious, they have Lawrence Buyachi among their coaching staff. He was known as Jogo, former Kenya Simbas player, played for KOBS before becoming a coach at Kisumu. Now he quit Kisumu after just helping them get promoted to Kenya Cup for another season.
Hiyo ni 25 months. Unataka ya kwanza? Nataka 14.
So talking about Buyachi, helped push Kisumu back to Kenya Cup before quitting to come here as the forwards coach. In one Kulukuku, Griffin Chow touching down to push KOBS to 30 points. So KOBS are in for business. They are in Uganda. So next match coming up soon. Keep subscribing, keep liking. As the teams conclude their warm-up, 3 p.m. is the kickoff time.
Bunch of
Welcome to the second semi-final. The match pitting Buffaloes and mwambie by the time una switch time, by the time una switch
kadi yake iko sawa, tumia tu hiyo. Ona hii yetu. Hebu mwenje, hebu angalia kadi yake kama iko lock.
Kidogo tu ni post. Sasa ndio kupani so utaangalia kicks.
Welcome to the second quarter-final, I mean. Buffaloes against Menengai Oilers. The match will be kicking off at exactly 3 p.m. Menengai Oilers keen to also proceed on home soil in front of their home fans. Buffalo's flyer phrases it high, claimed by Samuel Moura. That is Jada Abdon. Announces his availability on the pitch. A box kick from Menengai Oilers, claimed by Collins Caballo, former South Coast Pirates back row now, lock now being started at back row. Another box kick from Oilers. Ball bounces the Buffaloes' way. Playing advantage, they opt to kick it behind the defense, and the referee will be going back to that initial offside infringement. In Uganda, Kabras were leading 36 at halftime break against Heathens. As usual, the Sugarmen have always meant business whenever they go for a match in the last few seasons. Line out for Toyota Buffaloes. They walk into it, but the lineout is not straight, taken by Welles Sonyango. Will always be giving us another box kick as it has been the norm. No, this time around they play in Abtuali Buesonga with a high raised kick. Intercept from Cavoli, and Menengai Oilers are on attack. They are into that 22 for the first time. A big carry by Jada Abdon. They play in Ovwamo, but the referee had spotted an infringement, and we'll be going back to that. Abtuali Bwesonga thought he had crossed over, but the referee said no, and we go back to the previous infringement. Oilers 4 minutes into the game, looking for that opening try. They will love to start strong as that man in jersey 9 kicks for touch to give us a line out. Amos Obaye rises high. They decide to go for the maul. Blows the whistle to say we have the first try of the match inside the opening 5 minutes. As they receive instructions from forwards coach and backs coach. Distora Shifeda donning jersey 3, crossing over of that maul as Wesonga's kick bounces off the post, and we have 5 points for the home side Menengai Oilers. Oilers in possession, yet to win this Enterprise Cup. Last year was their first final appearance. Another box kick for Oilers. Aerial contest this time round, won by Buffaloes in that red top. They decide to kick. Well claimed. But up to Alibwe Songa and his fellow backs are there. Quickly released to find Amos Obaye. Referee penalizes Menengai Oilers. Line out for Buffaloes on that 22-meter line. Again taken by Belaro Geta. You know him with the Simbas. Colonel starting for the first time in this match, following the changes after that Kabras loss. Abtualibwe Songa with a kick raised high, nearly hitting as in the commentary booth. Line out for Buffaloes. Ronald Kanyanya with that line out throw. They play in the flyer who decide to go for a grabber kick and bounces out of play. That was a nice kick by Yasin Waswa at number 10, trying to find Moses Olwenyi as Menengai Oilers register another break, an inside pass to find their open side winger, but Buffaloes have a turnover here at Nakuru SK Showground. Seems things are moving very fast in this encounter. Scrum for Menengai Oilers. Last year's finalists. Ball released to find the backs. Beautiful try there by Menengai Oilers. It is the top scorer, or the leading scorer this season, Alvin Havoli. With that beautiful run to score the second try of the match. As we move to 10 points with the conversion to come this time round, Abtuali Bwesonga in a good position, kicking position. The boys at the scoreboard really trust in him. They had already changed the scores to 12 before he did the job, and he does it. He's the Menengai Oilers leading scorer this season. Last season it was Okwemba, or Timothy Omela as commonly known. We also know him with the Simbas, but today he's not in the starting squad. Menengai Oilers forced to an early change as Samuel Maura limps off the pitch. It means it is Philip Okeo coming in at that number 10 position. Obviously, a section of fans have been claiming that maybe he should be tried in that number 10 position, and that is what happens today. It is not a new position to him. He has played flyer before at high school level. Obviously, a graduate of Nakuru Academy, played for Kakamega School before shifting, and they claim possession. That bounce of the ball, Menengai Oilers, they are gaining several meters off whenever they get that ball. Quickly pass to find the back line, and they'll be going to that corner. The referee blows the whistle, signaling a knock-on at the corner. So Buffaloes survived that one, and now we have a scrum for the visiting side, Buffaloes. Emmanuel Odong will be feeding that scrum. But Oilers have it strong. Referee penalizes them. And they'll be calling in Yasin Waswa to maybe gain several meters for them. Their first two lineouts have not gone as planned. He fails to find touch, but pushes Oilers into almost their 22. That is they keep the ball. That is better. Ogeta. Ogeta sends his man flying, sends the next one, and the fans with the cheers on the outside. They play in. Brana Chacha. And we have 17 points. We have 17 points with the conversion to come. Oilers Abtuali Bwesonga with the twos to push the scores to 19-0. Minutes gone. Oilers with a start maybe which they would have wanted. Well raised kick claimed by Oilers. A break by Fortune Aturo. Penalty for Buffaloes. Maybe conceding penalties in attack is their major undoing today. Maybe they will have had more points than 19. Already they have lost their flyer of Samuel Maura. Hoping it's a cautionary maybe change, because it's a very crucial point of the season. Menengai Oilers being forced to go the playoffs route once again. Line out claimed by Buffaloes. Waswa with the ball meets Jada Abdon. Odong. Buffalo still in attack, meets his match. Waswa chooses to play his winger who runs into a man. Penalty for Buffaloes. fans making it lively. A penalty has Waswa points at the posts. He'll be keen to get some points on board for the visitors. Buffaloes. Misses that kick. In Uganda, the scoreline is 42-16 in favor of the Sugarmen. 22 dropout for Oilers. Ball claimed by Menengai Oilers now on attack. Colonel plays in Obaye. Obaye releases Achacha. Now it's Ogeta. Ogeta bombing off his first defender. Oilers with a kick behind the defense. Buffaloes now seeking to cross that halfway line. Odong plays in a man who meets his match. And now Oilers have possession back. Amos Obaye with that run. Amos Obaye wrestling. And these Ugandans. And they get another turnover. Buffaloes survive once again. Kick does not go to touch. Better Rogeta played in. Sends another penalty. Menengai Oilers will not be happy. With the penalties they have conceded today, especially in that attack. Odong, his flanker, who says Adami goes into contact, still with the ball. Ball looks like it's still open, but Buffaloes still have it. Cornell with that tackle. They'll be kicking to exit their 22. What response will Oilers have? Abtuali Bwesonga with Beda Ogeta near him. Ogeta plays in Abtuali Bwesonga. Bwesonga. Oilers still with the possession. Okeo, Philip plays in Arturo. Arturo sniffing that try line. Wellis crosses over.
Wallace Onyango there with a beautiful try, ladies and gentlemen. In case you're joining us at the refinery grounds in Nakuru, Menengai Oilers currently leading 26 against Toyota Buffaloes from Uganda. Abutwali Bwesonga with the conversion. Let's see how it goes. And the conversion is successful. And the score goes to 28.
It's 26. The scoreboard guy is ahead of us. I think he's very confident with how Abutwali Bwesonga is kicking, so he's feeling the scoreline just before the kicking is taken. Buffaloes trail here, 26 points without a response as Arturo knocks forward that ball, giving Buffaloes a chance to hold possession in the other half. We go back to that infringement, or that knock-on by Fortune Arturo, donning jersey 2. He came here last season as a started as a back rower. Now he has shifted slots to hooker, a position he played during his parent club or while at Cabras Sugar. Scrum for Buffaloes. Odong with the ball in hand. Waswa with the headgear. They are driven several meters behind as Waswa goes for the kick direct into the hands of Okeo, who knocks it on. And another scrum for the Buffaloes. It's been a lively action with few stoppages and infringements. Few stoppages, I mean, for the infringements. They have been there, no cons have been there, but beautiful runs. They have already changed the scrum half as Buffaloes this time round a switch in play, but he meets waiting shoulders. Buffalo still in possession. Ronaldo Guang is on for the scrum half duties, plays in Ronald Eddy. Guang now Waswa still holding on to possession. Buffalo still in possession, trying to build slowly, but the kick is charged down. Now Menengai Oilers have turned it over, and he decides to wait for his teammates. He should have run. Looking for that center post try is Menengai Oilers. Tackle completed. Plays in to find Philip Okeo, who just came on. And Okeo will have a name on the score sheet to push us to the 30s with a conversion to come. Philip Okeo, former Barbarian. When I mention Barbarian, I mean Kakamega School. Today, I'm informed they have been beaten in the final of the Western region, meaning again the wait for the return to the nationals is still on. Misses that one this time round. Abtuali Bwesonga couldn't nail that one, so they still stay at 31 points. 30 minutes, 31 points scored for Menengai Oilers. What an afternoon or evening for this Gibson Weru coach side. If you're just joining us, this is the second semi-final of the Enterprise Cup. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and invite friends to also enjoy this live stream coming to you courtesy of Scrummage Africa and Menengai Oilers. Buffaloes in possession. They get a penalty. I think they'll be wishing to go for 3 points. Obaye holding tight on that. Leg or shin. He has had a shin injury before. And he'll be hoping that all is well for him, because Menengai Oilers really need to have him, especially heading to the crucial stages. As I told you, Oilers have been forced once again to go to the playoff route. Waswa with a figure of concentration. This time round, he is sure with his kick. Gets 3 points for his side. So in 32 minutes, 34 points have been scored in this encounter. But that 31 have been for Menengai Oilers. Menengai Oilers featuring in the Enterprise Cup last season, winning the Floodies this last year in 2024. The only major 15th title they have up to now. They have featured in 2 K-Cup finals. They were in the final last year. They came so close last year, losing the final with 1 point as Cabras went on to register a forfeit. This season, last season they knocked out KCB at home. Dominant win against KCB. It should be the biggest win they've ever had against KCB. And now, this season they have to try again. They had a brilliant start as that man in jersey 24 makes a beautiful run. He could outpace the Oilers speedsters, abandoned out of play just before he crossed over. That is the challenge with rugby 15s or 7s. You can run all the way and get abandoned out of play just before the 5-meter line. But that was a brilliant run from the man in jersey 24. almost giving the visitors another point. Playing advantage for Buffaloes. They should be able to get something of this. Cross kick. But they'll be going back to that one. That was a beautiful cross kick. It would have been a brilliant try there. But they still have possession. Buffalo still knocking at Menegayola's door. Ball is out. Sesadami Waswa. They are driven meters behind. What a tackle by Oilers as Buffaloes cross that 22-meter line. They have enjoyed space of possession in the last few minutes, still battling. Meets Jada Abdon, but they still have possession. They keep possession once again. They'll be happy to still have the ball. And they know by having the ball, Oilers cannot score, but they can be the ones scoring. They get a penalty in a kickable position. Some pointing at the post, and that is the case. They will be going for those 3 points. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing, and keep inviting friends to enjoy this match. I'll be giving updates of what is happening in other fields across the country. 3 more points by Waswa. Now move to 6 points. 6 points for the Buffaloes. After spells of possession, Cabras already into the 60s. In one Kulukuku, obviously the big one between Champions Pirates and KCB coming up. But before that, we have business here. Menengai Oilers taking on Buffaloes, who have now 6 points. And they'll be seeking again to exit their 22. They try to set that platform for the scrum up to exit contact and the fly up to get into the position to kick. They have another carry again. Good boot claimed by Okeo. Now Okeo hopeless in up. Bedaro Geta, that heavy man with speed, always difficult to stop him. Quick tap by Oilers 9. They play Jada Abdon, Byron Cornell. Quickly released to find Abdulibwe Songa. Amos Obae coming in at pace. On the outside, Filippo Keo, Achacha, and he goes over. The referee says yes, the try is confirmed as they move to 36 points. This should be the last action of the first half. We have had plenty of action here at Nakuru SK Showground, home to Menengai Oilers. Told you earlier that this is not the first action, enterprise action in Nakuru. We had last year, the final being played here. And I told you of that story by my friend Paul Lokongo, who said, or who informed us that Uganda's president, former president, Idi Amin Dada, played rugby in Nakuru. 36. We have 2 tries, and it's been plenty of action here. Referee deciding we only have 40 minutes because we didn't have too much of stoppages in the first half. Match being officiated by some of the top referees in the country. You can let us know in the comment section what you think about how they have fared on up to this point. Maybe I take this opportunity to check out some of the comments from the fans. So it's halftime here in Nakuru. Remember to keep subscribing, liking, sharing. opportunity to keep and liking. Nasalimiana nguvu karibu tunaanguka.
Unajua mimi nimekuwa nikiuliza huyu boy images ni nani?
Nasalimiana nguvu. Oh, umetoka.
Sisi wenyewe umetupigia picha.
Sisi hapo tumepiga video.
But still never be.
Hii hapa ndio wewe. Labda kutoka huko. Sisi tulikuwa tunasema kutoka huko.
Sisi ni watu tunataka kuonekana. Najua bobo sema.
Those asking for Cabra scores, it's 61-19 in favor of the Sugarmen. So join Nondies, who won 39-13 semis of the competition. Later on, we'll be knowing the scores of KCB and Pirates, but here, Menengai Oilers lead 36. Hoping to complete the job in the second half. Yes, it's halftime for those asking.
Vipi? Najua leo vijana wamekufurahisha. Kwani ulikuwa una doubt ibadi za ilikuwa na doubt ukaogopa. Niliona watu wanasema watakuja na
teams returning for the second half.
I'm good, and you?
Remember to keep subscribing, liking and sharing this live stream as we get to the second half.
Location ni hapa refinery.
Obvious
Refinery liko hapa.
30 points separating these two sides.
Si unitafute after game.
And
Ni call to
second half is on here at Nakuru SK Showground, the venue that hosted the Kenya Cup, the Enterprise Cup final last year. Obvious, the holding in my hometown. We refrain from talking about weather. Once we mention it, it starts pouring heavily. So the second half is on. Oilers 36. Six against visiting Buffaloes. I'm glad that we are having such a fixtures on board. To help each and every country and each and every club to gauge itself. An idea that has been applauded by players, coaches across the divide and across the borders. They know how crucial testing yourself against each other is. As Buffaloes kick to touch. Buffaloes in possession. Looking now to implement some of the corrections recommended by head coach during that halftime break. You have seen matches change, several matches change at halftime, including the K-Cup final last year, changing, the scores changing heavily after the halftime break. So referee says the ball went back. No changes for Menengai Oilers up to this point, apart from Okeo, as Waswa goes for that kick. Claimed by Abtwali Bwesonga, who kicks behind the defense. Chased by Kavoli, who claims the ball and is almost there. Yes, he does. That is the top scorer this season. The top scorer, former Kenya under 20, taking us to the 40s. With a conversion to come. I think it was a simple kick. He claimed the ball, outwitted his defense, and put Oilers to the 40s as they look to start the second half on a high. This time round, Wesonga is sure that kick. We move to 43 points. Keep the comments coming. Keep the subscriptions coming. And keep the sharings coming. Buffaloes yet to win the Uganda Premiership, as well as Menengai Oilers yet to win the Kenya Cup title. But Buffaloes were in the final in the 2013 as Okeo takes the ball with pace, looking to find Kavoli. Obvious Kavoli is put through by Wesonga once again, and the man who's leading the K-Cup scoring charts is putting havoc here as they move to 48 points with a simple conversion to come for Wesonga. As you can hear at the background, fans chanting Oilers, Oilers. Almost 8 minutes gone into the second half. Buffaloes going for that line out. Claimed by Willis. As they get that free kick, quickly tapped. They go to the right side. Held high. And Oilers have a scrum in the second half. Obviously, this serving as a build-up for the playoff match for Oilers, but they still have some weeks because next week we'll have the match between Nondies and Most to decide who goes to the playoff and if Most will survive or be relegated. We also have that match between Impala and Black Blood, which was not played because of that surface. Now that man in jersey 24, he has had brilliant runs today. Buffaloes trailing here, and the beauty of having these matches, we get to see good players across the border. Uganda has given Kenya Cup great players. Talk of Philip Wokorach as Nelson Makoha comes in and Amos Obae is pulled off, maybe keen to avoid another injury on him. He was down at some point, and already they have lost Samuel Maura to injury, who is limping out here. Makoha rises high for that one. I was talking about great players that Uganda has given to this league. Talk of Aaron Oforworth. He really did well with Kenya Harlequin before leaving. We also have Asumani Mugerwa, one of the dependable props at KOBS Sugar, has won 5 Kenya Cup titles at KOBS Sugar. They also had the likes of Ivan Kirabo, who won the first Kenya, who was among the first Ugandans to play here. Charles Uhuru won the Kenya Cup title here with KOBS. And people from Kakamega maybe will thank the Ugandans who came and boosted KOBS towards the mid-season in their first Kenya Cup season. Obvious Nondies, Menengai Oilers, Kenya Harlequin, Nondies, Impala, talk of Sol Kivumbi are some of the Kenya teams that have had Ugandans. I'm told Scott Oluoch was at Mwamba. And interestingly, Scott Oluoch still plays. He also had Kenyans crossing over in recent years. Tony Hadambi was in the final with Hippos last season. Now he's a coach at South Coast Pirates. We have Andrew Diambo was played here a few minutes ago and scored a try. He crossed the border. We had more crossing the border this January transfer window. Talk of Enterprise Cup winner, two-time Enterprise Cup winner, Humphrey Asiligwa, as Waswa gets 9 points. on board. Provided you have a good kicker, you can keep the scoreboard ticking, and that is what they have done. They have moved to 9 points, their first score of the second half. Menengai Ola's already approaching the 50th mark. Crispin Shitundo onto the pitch. Former St. Peter's Mumias player, this one. If you meet him, ask him about that match. They lost to Kakamega School. Beautiful run by Buffaloes. Referee playing advantage. Obvious confidence growing. But the scoreline is a bit wide for them. Yes, I was telling you about Shitundo. Ask him about them losing to Kakamega in the 2012 final. Unable to claim that one, but it was a beautiful kick behind the defense. Buffaloes still in possession. They get a penalty in a kickable position. A number of players have already pointed at that post. And let's see if Waswa will be moving them to double figures. Now we are against the sun. It's getting hot here in the commentary booth, but the match must go on. Since missing his first, he has been able to mend his mistakes, scoring 4 out of 4. Interesting thing about this is these guys have said they will go down fighting. Abtwali Bwesonga raises that kick, claimed by Buffaloes. A big friend of there by the number 14 goes strong into that contact. Buffaloes with a number of fresh legs on, and maybe, but that offload goes into the hands of Bedarogeta. They had very good runs there. Fresh legs also proving to be crucial for them, as Ifeda creates a platform. Oilers preparing to kick it out of their zone because they know Buffaloes have been milking penalties, and it will be almost 5 meters to line out. Buffaloes still in attack. Almost 1 hour played as they go for another kick, but this time round it's claimed by Oilers, who called for Mark playing in. Achacha, a kick behind the defense, and chasing is that big center. Beautiful pass by the back three. They managed to protect the ball on that track. Still Buffaloes attacking. Still in their own half. Switch in play. Big handoff by that man, but he slips. They kick behind the defense, finding Abutwali Bwesonga, who attempts to get that 50-22. But it is now the Hippos, the Buffaloes ball. Yeah, in Uganda there are several animals named after teams. We have hippos, we have buffaloes, we have rhinos. Line out, stolen. Welles releases the ball to find that man in jersey number 16. Oilers lose the ball forward. And we'll be having the scrum. Several changes. Several changes made. Among the forwards, we have Emmanuel Mulindo on, Victor Were, and Vincent Mwikali, who is a teacher. And I was told he cooks good ugali. That is what the Simbas told me when they went to South Africa. And he's there with the ball in hand, with that drive. That's the man that I'm talking about. He was able to cook ugali for the whole Simbas setup. Achacha with the ball in hand. Supporting is Joe Philip Okeo, a brother through John Okoth. They also have Joel. And we have a try, but the referee says it's a penalty. Not lucky today for Charles Osgood. He has had moments that he will have maybe had 3 or several tries on the scoreboard, but that has not been the case. Hippos survived that one. Hey, Buffalo survived that one, and they kick it out. A line out for them on the halfway meter mark. Buffaloes. Sorry for the names mix up. Early today, I also referred to Nondies as Oilers. Apologies for that. Kick by Ogeta. Not as he would have wished. Pirates leading 6-0 against KCB in the second semi-final. Obvious, this is going to be another in the fourth quarterfinal. I mean, this is going to be another big match because Heathens are out. We have also KOBS are out, and Pirates now will be the only side that Uganda will be looking at because here Buffaloes are also not. They are not looking like they will be able to close that gap, but in rugby anything can happen, though we have played almost 7 minutes past the half-hour mark, so we are into the final quarter of this match. Still 50 12 as that pass gets all the Buffaloes players napping, but they managed to hold on to possession. I was talking about Pirates being now the side that the Ugandans will be looking at to maybe get a result for them. They named a strong squad with almost 13 international players. So, or players with international experience, so they'll be looking in the starting squad, they'll be looking to do that. Buffaloes, they know if they keep on possession, then Oilers cannot score. And Oilers get a turnover. Mulindo with the ball in hand. Kabayo there. Vincent Mwikali with that carry. Abtualibwe Songa plays the backline members. Achacha and Beliard Ogeta will be going at the corner for a try that puts us to 55 after spells of not scoring. Menengai Oilers cross over through Beldad Ogeta, Kenya Simbas player. Obvious, Kabayo looks like he will not be having more action in this half. Looks like he's done and dusted for this half. He's calling the technical bench members to do a substitution. Started against Cabras last weekend, has started in this and has crossed over 60 minutes. Among the few players who started this match and are still on the pitch, talk of him, talk of Willis Onyango, talk of Charles Osgood. For the backline members, they have only subbed off the flyer early on in the first half. The scrum half has also changed. The back three has few changes. Kabayo being attended to. Can see Jada Abdon jogging back, meaning Kabayo will continue and Jada will continue enjoying his rest with the work done and dusted. Almost 30 minutes played in this second half, meaning less than 10 minutes to go as Crispin Shitundo is called there by the referee for some instructions. Crispin Shitundo, one of the key figures here at Oilers. Last year he played in the midfield. This year he has been brought back to back row as Kabayo wins that aerial contest. Kabayo being sent from Menengai Oilers. Achacha releases. New substitution already. Oilers have pulled off Alvin Cavoli. No, he still has more business to do in the coming tournaments. Lucky Onyango coming on, and he has had that brilliant run. Maybe faster than his supporters. And Buffalo survived that one. They'll have a scrum just inside that 22. In Uganda, it's William Kore who has scored the 6 points for the Pirates side as they look to cause an upset and maybe revenge for their brothers KOBS, who just lost here to all-time Enterprise Cup champions. Nondies, Menengai Oilers, Beda Rogeta knocks that one. They were looking to apologies for the scores, it's 55 and not 56. Moses Oluenyi, obvious, donning jersey number 14, has been a player who has put in a good shift as Ogeta fits that ball. Maybe he will want to pull an Ogeta, and he does that, but loses possession. And Buffaloes now have a chance to score with the defense here to organize themselves, but now they have done that. Ogeta going hard into contact. but he ends up losing possession at a very crucial point. Referee spots a knock on. Just to remind you to keep subscribing, liking and sharing. And this is Scrimmage Africa. And remember to watch that KOBS documentary pinned on this page. Second episode, which is the final one, will be coming just before the playoffs. The semi-final, I mean. So plenty to watch here. More shows also coming on this Scrimmage Africa TV. And thanks to Menengai Oilers, we are able to bring you live these Enterprise Cup cross-border matches. Already the first one, Nondies, showing why they are all-time champions with 25 titles, eliminating Kampala Old Boys, call them KOBS. Later on, this match is going on. 55 points for Menengai Oilers against Buffaloes in one Kulukuku. Obvious, the Sugarmen, who named a very strong squad. The likes of John Kubu returning from injury, Brian Tanga also returning from injury. We had David Bunduki returning from injury, as they went there to give a statement. Abtwali Bwesonga, but that pass is not efficient. Ogeta now decides to run across. Victor Wede there. His pass is not fine, and they play in that winger who I just played a few minutes ago. Referee already with the yellow card in his hand. And Lucky is not lucky today, coming on into the second half, and is given that yellow card. Most likely he won't get back to the field for more minutes, because we are into the final stages of this encounter, as Waswa gets a chance to show us that he has power on the boot. Now it is him to get the target. Figure of concentration, looks at the ball. And it's sure the kick. Maybe he's a man you can bank on when he's a man you can bank on. Maybe if you have that last kick. Those are some of the questions we normally ask there online. If you have the last kick, which player will you pick to do the job? 15. Apologies for the scoreboard. By 15 points from the boot by this man Waswa. He has contributed all the 15 points, all the 5 kicks coming off his boot, and it was after he missed his first kick. He has not missed again. Call him Waswa. Another crucial figure in this Buffalo squad. And this Buffalo squad beat Heathens before the break, or before the Enterprise break. Oilers with a strong scrummaging there. Referee spots a forward pass. With a Chacha bullying his opponent there. Final stages of this encounter. Maybe looking at the first half scoreline, looks like it was going to be a bad scoreline for the Buffaloes, but the second half they have tried to not to concede more. Obvious Menengai Oilers also being a bit wasteful, several knock-ons here and there as they go for a strong scrum, looking to bully. Talked of being wasteful, and that moment is another moment that they have wasted there as they claim back possession, but the referee says, I'm not done with that knock-on. We go back to that. Scrum for the Buffaloes. Scrum for the Buffaloes. Eighth man pick in their own 22. Stable enough to keep the possession. They decide to run it again. Only one man supporting him, and they hold on to that possession. Another carry for them. Now they decide to play in their own zone. As I told you, the trick is always simple. If you have the ball, the opponent cannot score. So you have to keep the ball as much as you can to refrain your opponent from harming you. Belarogeta again with that speed. Meinaga Oilers maybe looking to get one more. That is Philip Okeo with another try. That should be his second of the day. Philip Okeo has played for Chipu, played for Nakuru RFC before crossing borders to reunite with his brother John Okoth, who is currently in Montevideo today. Siko 54. Referee blows for that full-time whistle. Scoreline changes to 61-15, almost the same scoreline. Maybe the Rai brothers had a memo of crossing the 60-point mark, because Kabras Sugar have crossed the 60-point mark against Heathens, who managed 19 points. So has Menengai Oilers. Here at Nakuru Athletic Club, Nakuru SK Showground, we are done. Menengai Oilers 61, Buffaloes 15. All the points coming from one man, call him Waswa. And now we have the semi-finalists as Nondies, Menengai Oilers, Kabras Sugar, and we are waiting the winner of the fourth quarterfinal, which brings together Ugandan Pirates against KCB. A chance to keep on subscribing, liking as the fans there, as the players there and the fans catch up. Thank you very much for tuning in today. For those who tuned in, thank you very much. Keep subscribing, liking and sharing. And thank you to Menengai Oilers for having us here to ensure that across the border, the fans were able to follow these live broadcasts. As the players have the final banter, we say we have the three semi-finalists, only one remaining. Crucial encounters for both countries, because we'll be able to get to see talents across the board. To boost maybe respective squads. There in the circle, the teams are done with that match, second match. And now we are done with the matches here at Nakuru SK Showground. Focus now shifts to domestic leagues. Final matches to allow us know how the Kenya Cup playoffs will be. Same for Uganda, who are in their 5th or 6th round of the season. They'll be looking to continue their league in the build-up also to the semi-final, but with 3 teams already knocked out, they will be not participating further. Now they are banking on They're banking on Pirates to complete the job.
Oh, yaje? Kidogo tu. Ha? Sawa sawa.
But the Pirates face a tough task against KCB Rugby. Okay.
Kuja tu. Yaje?